Hello, welcome, and thank you for signing up for the Psychic Boot Camp free training. I wanted to first commend you already for answering the call of your soul, listening to your intuition, and paying attention to your higher self by saying yes to this training. So, just through our curiosity within the unknown and the bigger part of you and the mystical, this alone can bring so much expansion and shifting and healing. So, I also want to acknowledge you before we start and thank you for doing the work. I know because you signed up for this, you're already an old soul and you've done a substantial amount of work to get here. So thank you for being here and thank you for your light and the unique way that you share that with the world. I hope you're excited. Thank you again for saying yes to this and following your intuitive nudge already, which is your soul saying, yes, honey, let's do this. I got things to share with you. This is an advanced intro training because trust me, I don't do fluff. This isn't a cheesy sales call. We're about to go in and we're about to go deep. And I really want to give you some tools that you can begin to use right away. And I'm offering this content for free so that you can get a taste test of how I teach and who I am, my vibe, and of course, so that you can learn more about the intensive full 10-week psychic bootcamp training where you literally learn how to become your own psychic and connect clearly with guides and loved ones who've transitioned and to do things in a really balanced, clear way. And even do this for others if you want. So I can't wait to share more of that with you about the class. It's a life changer or lifetimes changer. And we have such a huge community of like-hearted souls. Because I know you are here also to make a big impact. You did not come here to play small, and our souls really hold the keys to the infinite freedom and abundance so that we can do that. And I want to help you bridge that gap today. So my motto is to share as much as I can, everything I know, because collectively we're in this together and we're always growing and expanding. This is an infinite process. There is no there. And we know also that there's just a lot going on in the world. And if there's ever a time to step into your soul's expression and your potential, it is now. And I want to help you do that. I also know that you've probably read enough spiritual books already and or know the basics. So, there's not going to be any goddess breaths or psychic drama. This work can be grounded and real and powerful and applicable to your everyday life. It truly is available to us all. We just got to tap in to our psychic senses and to our potential. And I promise you, even if it's just a curiosity or a suspicion that you have that you might have intuitive abilities, I can assure you, you do. You are a light worker in a very unique expression, and you are here with great purpose. So today, what I really want to do is just equip you with some concrete tools that you can start using right away to use your intuition. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my best psychic secrets, and that we're all psychic. We all have this ability. It really just takes some guidance and support, and I got you. This is my passion. I want to teach others how to do the work that I do, even for themselves, or, if you're interested in doing it for others. I didn't become a spiritual medium overnight. I didn't just wake up and say, okay, ta-da, I'm opening up shop. In fact, the first time that somebody told me I could be a medium, I was like, take that back. I've been haunted too many times. I'm not into it. And later I learned that connecting with the other side was nothing like a ghost visitation. And I also learned what I preach the most within the course is about boundaries and how to really set yourself up so you're never experiencing anything that A, you don't want to, and B, just other people's feelings or energy. And we'll get to that shortly and some ways to do that. But I, just like you, a long time ago, 10 years ago, took a class, and through all of the courses that I've taken, I've kind of compiled it into one. the best healing techniques I know, the quickest ways to connect, and just again tapping into the infinite because we really can. So, just to briefly introduce myself, my name is Bree. You probably already know that. I'm a spiritual medium and channel. And so, yeah, as a child, I was intuitive. I definitely saw things that most didn't. I was really clear on why I was on earth. And I told my mom at a really young age, I was like, hey, I'm here to help people, and that I was happy that I chose my parents. And of course, I wasn't singing the same tune as a teenager, but yeah, as a child, I was really quite clear and open. I remember seeing things and having some out of body experiences, and there just wasn't a language for it at the time. So it transferred into fear. I didn't know what to do with these things, so I eventually just shut it off because I felt like it wasn't happening or there wasn't a place for it. But throughout my life, I would have, funny things happen or ethereal visits here and there, and I could never quite shake my curiosity for the afterlife and what lies beyond what we term as the physical. And then in adult life, I was super into self-development. My books were stacked high and metaphysical and self-development. And this is a great way for you to just begin to be aware of your true purpose, is just look at the books you have, what podcasts you're listening to. Where your curiosity lies is always your next stepping stone. It's kind of like a breadcrumb trail from your soul. So, even though I followed what you could call a super conventional path, studied international business, um, then quit that. And, old souls, we tend to have a lot of interest. I studied dance, and I worked in the nonprofit field. And it was a melange of just like finding myself and going through life lessons and some hardships, like my mom getting cancer really woke me up, and some courageous jumps, what I call trust falls with the universe, like studying abroad or saying yes to scary things. So, we do that, and that is provided. So one of those jumps I made was to move to Los Angeles, where there was a great spiritual community, and I learned how to just begin to meditate. And within my meditations, I would get like the slowest drip of messages, and a lot of times I would hear, "Hey, you're a healer." And it's not what I wanted to hear. I wanted to be on tour with Britney. I was a dancer. But I just kept hearing it. So I finally surrendered to it. I said, okay, if I'm supposed to do this, I need a teacher. And she showed up days later on a plane and handed me her card. And I knew in that moment that I was going to end up working for her. And I kind of saw the whole thing unfold. And so, sure enough, I took her class and she asked me to work for her. I took the training, I took other trainings, and really began to listen and surrender into my soul's purpose and rebuild what I had shut off for so many years. So it was kind of like this delayering process of my ego, of my fears, of what I should be doing, and just listening and going within. So again, I didn't just open up shop. I took a lot of classes. I was a good student. I had highlighters. I read the book twice. I was obsessed. And so now, I'm really thankful that it happened that way so that I can teach people how to do it in a grounded way. My deepest passion is really helping people to tap into their purpose, their soul's expression, and moving past limitation and into their infinite self to truly make lifetimes of change. Our souls will give us the quickest route to our desires. And so, even though Psychic Bootcamp is about accessing your intuition, it's also just about getting into that part of you, creating with more ease, manifesting more with more ease. So I have a Psychic Bootcamp, and I have another program called Soul Sculpt, which is more around the belief work and how to really unplug from our unconscious beliefs and tap more into our soul's voice. I teach a lot of workshops and travel for those and events and speaking events. And I lead breath work, which there's a free meditation on my site if you haven't found it already under breath work. And I'm also developing some other courses to really move through some of those blocks and meditations. So that's what my offerings look like right now. And let's get to the training, shall we? This is what we're going to be covering. I want to cover some easy ways for you to begin to communicate with your spirit guides. The biggest thing that blocks us and how we can change that when we're trying to connect intuitively, how to begin to use your intuition to just make decisions about life and step more into trust and get past doubt, and some concrete ways to do that. Some ways to strengthen your ability to listen and to hear the messages. And you'll discover the best way that you receive information and really begin to build on that. Although we receive information all the time in so many ways, I want to help you hone in on how you get information most easily and then build on that. We'll also be covering the difference between a guide, an angel, an archangel, a light being, aka Pleiadians, Lemurians, light beings, or an ascended master. Some specific archangels that you can use now to help you strengthen your intuition. That's kind of like, that's their jam. They want to help you. We're going to go over who those are. And I want to walk you through a guided meditation to meet your spirit guide or a spirit guide. And I'm going to be also just offering a few energetic clearings to open your intuition. And you're like, how might you do that, Brie? This is a recording. Well, time and space aren't real. So get into it. They work. And anyway, so you're gonna get a little bit of healing too. And then alas, I'll go over some of the details in case you are interested about joining the intensive course. So the first thing I want to do is just break down the simplicity and the definition of intuition. So it's the natural ability or power that makes it possible to know something without any proof or evidence. It's a feeling that guides a person to act a certain way without fully understanding why. Something that is known or understood without proof or evidence. So, in most simple terms, intuition is just when you know something, and there's so many ways that we are already using our intuition. We just got to do more reps and practice those intuitive skills. It's literally a survival skill. It's when you feel something isn't safe. It's when you know it's time to go. It's when you can tell if someone is where they are in their intentions. If you feel at home in places, or even if you feel like you shouldn't eat something, it's just, I have a sense that, or I feel like. So we're constantly using our intuition in our everyday lives, consciously and subconsciously. So we are so much more psychic than we're even aware of. We are energetic beings. We're constantly communicating psychically with each other, energetically with each other. So I just wanted to break this down a bit. We will definitely go deeper into this. But as we move through, I want you, because I'm about to go into the clairs, and I want you to just be aware as I move through those, which ones you might be more comfortable with, or where you think you might receive information from. So the intuitive senses are kind of broken down into four main ways that we receive. And, we're all unique individuals. We learn differently. We interpret information differently. And we all use all of these four senses. You have all of these clairs, but some just might come easier for you, and you may lead with one or two of them. So in, the intensive, we obviously go into deeper detail, and I guide you in that, but you'll be able to tell as we move through this which ones you tend to experience more. So the first one is clairaudience. It's the ability to just hear information. So about 99% of the time, this is just going to come in like thought. That's what's hard to kind of learn how to trust it. Because we're not going to hear an angel be like, "Hey girl, it's me, your angel. I'm going to go no on this job." This is how we can get tripped up, because clairaudience comes in so easily and quickly, so we just tend to bat it away. But clairaudience is the ability to obviously hear information, and I personally tend to get a lot of information clairaudiently. That's what I lean on. I lean on clairaudience and claircognizance. So when I channel, it's mostly this. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the words move through almost just like a waterfall. So it will sound like your voice. And the other thing to just be aware of is a lot of times it's answered a way to know when it's your intuition is it will be answered before you even finish your sentence. So it will come in right away without any thought. Uh, and that's a really helpful way to to be aware of and how to decipher. Um, and again, we're using our intuition all the time, but in the beginning, it's really important to connect first, meaning the ability to hear clear information from my soul is going to be harder if I'm knee deep in tasks or if I'm stressed out and in my head. So it's always best to find a meditative state, then maybe listen to a guided meditation, one of mine, just saying, or just get into your heart and then ask. So we want to make room to get out of the way, and that goes for all the senses. But clairaudience is the ability, again, to hear. And then another way to decipher if it's your intuition or fear, the messages that come through intuitively and from your soul and the ethereal, they're always going to be love-based. They'll be void of any judgment. They'll be so supportive and loving. And usually they're pretty direct. They're not like there's no fluff. So that's clairaudience. The second one is clairsentience. So that's the ability to feel something. So on a side note, some mediums can actually like smell or taste things, and you may have had that experience too. I kind of put that in this, our clair senses. But clairsentience is super common because we are all clairsentient. We all have some level of it. You may feel someone's energy without physically touching them, right? You're feeling their auric field. You're tapping into the ability to feel the energy of something. Or you may even feel other people's pain, or you may just have a gut feeling or really feel drawn to something or someone. So as an intuitive teacher, I'm a stickler about this one because there's never any reason you should be experiencing somebody else's energy or energy that drains you or anything that you don't want to experience. You have to set up these boundaries early on. And I really go over that in the course, but just be aware of that part of our belief systems are usually attached to that. So we usually have some subconscious beliefs that are signing us up to have that experience. We know it's not a conscious game plan. And I just want to talk about this briefly because there's as an empath, or even just a leader, it's really important for you to not have to feel other people's energy. So how it works with beliefs, say I'm really clairsentient, I might be holding unconscious beliefs about needing to take on other people's emotions in order to be compassionate, or maybe I learned as a child how to create safety or connection this way. And this is where our personal growth really comes into place with your intuitive practice. And don't get me wrong, clairsentience is awesome. Sometimes light beings or angels or loved ones have transitioned will blast me with love, so I get the message and it's incredible. I literally will cry, but it's a love cry. And now I've learned that it used to just totally take me over, but now I've learned how to create those boundaries. So I'm like, okay, I got it, back it up, thank you. And I've learned how to communicate and monitor that. So again, in readings or just in life, you are never victim to feeling other people's stuff or experiencing anything that you don't want. It's important to be a clear conduit for yourself and for others. So for now, just be aware of how you feel around others or how situations feel. This is a super great way to get a read on something, if you should do something or not, simply by imagining in that and then feeling what those outcomes would be. We're going to go over more about how your body is your most intuitive tool, but clairsentience is an awesome way to actually step into your power and allow yourself to follow those gut feelings. So the next one is clairvoyant. This is the ability to see. So some people, yes, are able to see things with the physical eye auras, beings. As a child, I did have this ability, but I've shut that down because, like I said, it scared me. It's also a vibrational thing. So as we lift our vibration, all of these psychic abilities increase, and we are, in a sense, delayering the filters to see and experience what we call the non-physical. And again, we'll talk more about this later, but for most of us, this one, clairvoyant, usually just comes in as that it will feel the same as imagination or visual excuse me, visualization. So right now, in your mind's eye, if you imagine like leaving your house, walking out the door, if you have a car, you're walking to your car, or maybe you're imagining getting in a car and opening the door, sitting in the driver's seat, starting the car. And so, as I'm describing that and you're kind of seeing that, this is the same place clairvoyance comes through. So, don't think that you can't be clairvoyant or that you're not. I think where we get tripped up is we want it to be some super crisp vision and an angel to come down and just say, hey, her hair in the wind, this is your future. This is really developed with time, but we all have the ability to see things. It's just a matter of learning how to steer and guide this ability. So we'll be opening up this and all the clairsentiences in the meditation later. But know that clairvoyance comes in the same place that you imagine things. So if I tell you to think of a purple elephant, that's where it comes in. So clairvoyance, the ability to see intuitively. The last one is claircognizance, and this is the ability to simply know something. So, previously, on one side of the scale, we talked about the simple ability that we employ all the time with our intuition and just knowing things. So, on the other side of the spectrum, when I channel or even in readings, they'll just dump information in my mind or in my system, and then I have to translate it. So it would be like downloading a book instead of reading it. Claircognizance is the ability to simply just know something. So with all of these ways to receive information, they're just that. They're ways for the information to come in. We just have to learn how to trust and to practice. And it's like refining any skill, dance, musical instrument. It's just a matter of practice. So, intuition really is our natural state. And I'm guessing if you're on this training, you believe, as I do, that we are more soul than anything. We are more soul than what we are expressing in this current incarnation. So, it would make sense that naturally it'd be quite easy to connect with this essence of ourselves, right? Our intuitive self. So, drum roll, the biggest thing that keeps us blocked from our intuition is not that we're not intuitive or that we don't know how to use it. It's our attachment to the physical conditions. It's the belief that we're separate, the belief that we're the ego, what I call the negotiator, the part of us that it's focused on survival and the identity. And it's okay that we have an ego. It's not bad. It's how we learn and expand. But you are so much more than that. So this is why in Psychic Bootcamp, I've included work around tapping into your soul and your everyday life and how to move out of limitation. And also in our recorded calls, in the live recorded Q&As, I do a lot of belief clearings and how to explain how they block us and do some energetic work to remove those. And I'm going to be doing some of those for you in this meditation today. But let's just talk about a few concepts and tools that you can use now to soften our inclination to use the ego and begin to navigate a little bit more from our soul and our full self. So the first is just a reminder, that if your intuition is merely your alignment with your soul, how can you bring yourself back to your soul? So what are the things that your soul might enjoy doing? And for all of us, this is different. So I'd highly encourage you to journal about this and make a list of things that your soul probably likes to do. And you may want to start that right now. But for me, this is simply doing things like walking on the beach, interacting with horses, connecting with you about your intuition, being in nature, these types of things. And yours will be different and unique, and you want to make it as long as you can, this list. But they're the things that bring you intrinsic joy. They're the things that remind you that you're alive. They're the things that make you feel connected to yourself and others. They're the things that get you out of a stress mode. But here's the key: you have to do them. We gotta make room for our souls in the ethereal. We have to meet them halfway. And these things are going to feel good, and they're really going to open you up. And this is why a lot of times we get a hit with an intuitive message, or we get an idea. That's kind of like when we're downloaded, like, hit her, she's not paying attention. So I always say, if you need to make a decision, get in alignment with your soul, do one of these things, and then ask. That's when you're at your most space of clarity. And it's totally okay for us to be in the ego. It's okay for us to want things. But we just don't want to get stuck in the hamster wheel of conditions. We don't want to let the ego run our lives because it's insatiable, and no thing will ever be enough. The ego is obsessed with conditions because it has its identity and worth tied up in the outside world. It's dependent on people and things to make us feel safe or loved. So an easy way to begin to shift this is just to watch your thoughts and your inner monologues, and just notice, where are you unconsciously negotiating with the world around you, and how would your soul see it? What is the essence or the emotion of the truth that the ego is trying to get? So if I think I have to get a job or a man to feel worthy, what I'm really yearning for is that sense of worthiness and knowing my worth. So how would my soul see this? What would my soul have me know? And this seems like it's unrelated to being intuitive, but I tell you, it is in direct correlation, because it's our inclination to want to control things that blocks the divine flow from coming in. This is the biggest leap I have made in my intuition, is from clearing personal blocks and beliefs. So again, I know that you've already done a good amount of work because you're on this call, but it's a lot of what I think maybe some psychics don't teach, is it's so rooted in your personal growth. So I want to support you in doing that. Those are some ways to begin to detach from conditions, because this really has been the biggest thing that has opened me up. And it makes sense, right? Vibrationally speaking, excuse me, as we lessen our grip with conditions, as we move out of our dense perceptions and our fear-based ideas, we open up and bring forth our soul and a higher vibration and our connection. So this is why meditation is so powerful. It's just that training of getting out of the ego's driver's seat. So the other thing is, to help us within that and to help us manifest easier is moving from life happens to me and into I create my reality. So this simple awareness can be so powerful and really open you up. So we literally are creating everything, every situation, every relationship. If you want to know what you believe to be true or possible and what subconscious beliefs you hold, your life is basically a blueprint of your total belief system. So if you like what you got, great. If you're like me and you just want a little bit more of the good stuff, this just means more detaching from the idea that life is thrown at us or happening to us. So, this powerful concept and a great way to step into this is just, again, notice your thoughts as they come up. If you don't like something, how can I empower myself to change this now? So if I create my reality and I don't like this one manifestation, what do I want to create? And what might be the new story I can tell about this? What would be the perspective I would want to step into? What would be the belief I would want to vibrate with that could create a different reality? Because trust, I spent years of making vision boards, but I was still chasing the conditions. And when I began to tap more into my soul, things were just provided. I didn't even have to really ask for it. And it's just it's like that ease and abundance and flow of our soul. The path will widen when we can kind of surrender and listen. So I trusted, I let go, I stopped trying to make things happen as much, and I let my soul lead me. And this is an eternal process, but it's that inner voice for all of us, and it's just that courage to follow and to let go. So another question might just be, where can I find more ease in this? And again, how would my soul see it? Another way to really open yourself up on a deep, deep level is to connect more deeply with your body. Our bodies are our direct relationship with our soul. Our soul isn't like some detached thing, it works through us. And if you're feeling a contrasting feeling, be it fear, anger, doubt, discomfort, you are in that moment identifying with an untruth, period. And your body's going to let you know. So when we are in joy and in joy and in happiness, we're more aligned with our true self and our soul, that feeling of ease. And you're going to feel that in your body. And that's why they say, follow your bliss, follow the feelings. So checking in with our body more is actually an incredible gateway to our truth. I'm going to walk you through a short practice later around that. But the other way, when people ask me, like, how do I know if it's fear or intuition? What I recommend is just, and I do this all the time, I have to check in with, where am I coming from? So how can if I don't know what decision to make on a path, I can just do an intentional check-in. Am I pursuing this from my ego? So if it's for work and I want to, add another class to my, travel schedule, am I doing that because I want to expand my reach and get more followers and, make money? Or is it something that is truly lighting me up and that I really want to share and connect with others? That doesn't mean that, sometimes we don't have to do the gritty work, but if you're making a decision, where am I coming from in this moment? Am I coming more from my soul or from my ego? So these are a few things that are really powerful and will be in your transformation to opening and honing in on your intuition. This is the base of the work. And so much is already available without you having to really do anything. These things are more or less open you up to receive the messages that you need. And these things aren't often talked about, but it's really about raising your vibration that's going to increase your ability to hear and sense your intuition clearly. And again, this is why I'm including all the belief work and the personal parts with Psychic Bootcamp. And again, we'll do a little bit too within the meditation later. But let's talk about some more tangible ways and fun ways that you can test your intuition in the physical. So as we move through these, you may think of other ways to use your senses. So maybe just jot them down. So the first one is just using your intuitive eye to see. So if you're in line at the grocery store and someone's behind you, take a few conscious breaths and just tap in and try to just look in your mind's eye, just as we were earlier, looking at a pink elephant, or you're getting in your car. You're just getting a sense and noticing if maybe it's male or female, what they might look like. You could use your sentience gently, get a sense of what they feel like. And I used to do this a lot when I was in yoga class. I'd be waiting, laying on my mat, waiting for class to start. If someone laid their mat by me, I would try to feel what they look like. So with all of these, be easy on yourself. It's a game. It's something to have fun with, and it takes practice. But these are just some ways that you can move throughout your day and kind of have fun with it. The other thing I like to support people in is just, obviously, what are we touching the most? Our phones and our devices. So let's use them to our advantage. So try to guess who it is before you look at your phone. Even if you want to take a short meditation and ask, or send people telepathic messages and see if they call you back. And this happens to me a lot. I'll call someone and they'll be like, oh my God, Brie, you are psychic. I was just thinking of you. But I'm kind of like, well, who's the psychic? Maybe you felt me calling, or maybe you were thinking of me first and, I caught the message. So pay attention to these things and celebrate them when they happen, and also just, again, be easy with it. But you can practice, you're sentient by just feeling places and people. So if I'm in an old church, I really love just feeling that energy. Or maybe if I'm just, if I have the time, I'll sit down, meditate, and just kind of, feel the energy in the space. But it could be something super simple. So if you're visiting someone's house for the first time, you might want to get a feel for the space. Or if you're around a new group of people, just trying to sense maybe even how far out their auric field goes. So we're really communicating this way all the time. We're just not consciously doing it. So it's just really tapping into the awareness of it. So the other thing is you can play with time. I know. You can slow it down or speed it up. If I go on vacation, I'm usually just kind of ask and intend I want this time to feel and be slower. But also you can try to guess like the exact time that you'll arrive somewhere. So it's like 4:53, but ask, right? Ask to receive, because really time is quite flexible. And maybe the most powerful and fun way to increase your intuition is to ask and watch for signs. So ask the universe, your guides, your soul, your loved ones. Ask for specific signs and pay attention because they will come through. I've had offered this exercise and heard the craziest stories come back. Even the purple elephant that I was using earlier, I used that in a class recently, and I was in London, and I made them envision a purple elephant, and I used it as an example. And this girl sent me a picture after class. She said, I walked down the street and there was a huge stuffed animal purple elephant, and she took a picture of it and sent it to me. And I get these time and time again. So you can be specific, have fun with it, ask for specific signs and trust, and also email me and let me know. I love these stories. They're so amazing. So remember, you're already intuitive. We're just playing with the wand with these. So these now are just more specific ways to strengthen your intuitive senses. So we talked about creating like that, the base that's really going to open you up, and some of these are in there, but these are just some ways to strengthen. So I know the first one, meditate. I roll. I get it. We should be meditating more, all of us, but we have to think of it like any other workout. We can't spend 2 to 5 minutes a day working out and expect to see results. But it's pretty remarkable with what that small amount of time can do in comparison to a physical workout when you meditate. So the more you meditate, the more you resonate with your soul, and you're tuning your antenna to receive. You don't always have to receive in that moment. We're just making way for that space, because the better we feel, the less conditional we are, and the more things can just fall into place. And there are a lot of misconceptions about meditation. You don't have to be a yogi right away. You can count a moving meditation. I still use guided meditations all the time. So be easy. You're not expected to not have any thoughts. Nature is my biggest opener, and it really does open us up. I've been told by the angelic realm, the light beings, that soaking yourself in nature actually helps to not only clean your energetic field, but also clear radiation and toxins from the body. Whenever if I hike in nature, I always get insight, and you can talk to a tree like you would an angel. Divine consciousness and infinite intelligence is moving through nature unfiltered. So yeah, I want to make it number one, and then meditation. Starting a dream journal. This can be helpful if you are already having vivid dreams, to just have a piece of paper by you and write. You may even want to get a little bit more intentional and ask for messages and then write in the morning. If you're not dreaming or remember your dreams, ask to remember them, and just really start to nurture it by first thing and you wake up in the morning, jot down. They will begin to make more sense. But again, we have to create that relationship with them. Angel cards or oracle cards, shameless plug. Mine are in the makes, and I'm so excited to get them out to you. Some of the images that we're using within the slide later are from the oracle deck. I'm so excited. But this is a great way to start the conversation with your guides or your angels, and it's really fun. You can do them with friends. Pretty much every deck comes with instructions. So they're fun to use, and I'm always surprised by the messages still that come through just when I do an angel reading. Tapping into the physical senses. So if you look at where you are right now and just look around the room and just kind of take inventory of everything that's around you. And if you can, close your eyes and just try to replay that. Replay everything that you were just looking at in your mind's eye. You can open your eyes. That's a really great way to sharpen our ability, our clairvoyant ability, is to use that imagination with detail. So tapping into the physical senses can be really helpful, and using your imagination. We've talked a lot about the path of least resistance, about unplugging from the ego, really doing the personal work. This is what is going to open us up when we resonate with our soul, because that is the essence of our intuition. So going with the flow, asking your soul for, what is your perspective on this? I'm ready to get out of the way. And, we talked about the importance of when we do ask for, information, we want to always just align. So that might be, sometimes it might be just a walk in nature. That could be a meditation, and then look at it. It's important to track your wins, like celebrate when you do get intuitive hits. If you want to write them down, or, thank your soul or thank your guides. But this really nurtures and continues to open that up for us. We talked about using our body compass, so paying attention to how your body feels. I have a video on muscle testing that I include in the pre-work for Psychic Bootcamp, and it's a way to get a very clear yes or no from your body and your soul. So all of these things are ways that we get to really tap into an ultimate self-support system. Self-love is the realization that you are one with all things, that you are the universe. It's not happening to you. You have a well of wisdom that is infinite inside of you, and that is completely accessible. So I'd love to go over some of the archangels that you can use. I was out of practice of like working with the archangels, and I've been getting back into it lately, and I've been loving it. I talk to them when I channel, and also just in prayer. So you don't have to do some big ritual to ask for their help. It's super cash. Just, hey, Archangel Raguel, I really need help in this relationship. Thank you. But we need to invite them in. It's part of the co-creating process. So when we ask for help and when we surrender, there's so much power. It really gives them permission and heightens their ability. And my mentor, we did a little trade reading the other day, and she stopped me and she was like, hey, are you asking them for help around this thing? And I was like, no. She's like, you got to do that. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So remember to ask. I wanted to list just a few of the archangels that like to help with intuition. So Jeremiah, Archangel Jeremiah, helps to help you to develop and understand spiritual visions. So if you're getting visions, you don't get them, or you want more clarity, or maybe you want more clarity in your dreams, Jeremiah would be really great to ask. Jeremiah, I mean, they all help with different things as well, but these are the ways that they can specifically they like to help with intuitive information. Um, Archangel Metatron is super stoked on helping you to clear energy and tap into esoteric knowledge. So clearing your energetic field of any blockages, helping you to get out of the way, and tapping into that divine knowledge. And Archangel Raziel helps to clear fears and helps you tap more into your soul's gifts or your karmic gifts. So Archangel Raziel, I'm ready to let go of this fear of blankety blank, or just tapping into my intuition. And I want to harness any lives or my soul's intuition to connect with ease and grace. There's no right or wrong way to ask. It's generally just, hey, I'm ready to get out of the way, specifically asking, can you support me in this? And using, again, it doesn't have to be some big thing. It can be quite casual. But one way that we do go wrong when we ask is that sometimes we just don't listen. So we're asking them to help us with a situation, and it may not be in the form we recognize, or we don't pay attention to the signs. So, it can come through other people. It can come in surprising ways. You just be aware of the ways that it can come in the physical, and don't write stuff off. It is a sign. Celebrate it. Again, let it be playful. So, okay. Although the angels, the guides, which we're going to go over a little bit more, is so powerful in asking, you have everything within you. We are all connected to infinite wisdom. Sometimes we can get a little bit like, you know, thinking of like a movie star about like our guides, and we're like, help us, where are you? Hello, could you? But really, you're connected to everything. We are all infinite intelligence, just physically expressed. You are an emanation of this, and again, it's just a delayering to access this. You truly have access to all the information you could ever need. And on top of that, again, your soul is not separate from your body. It works through you, through your emotions, um, to your feelings, your sensations. This is why it's so important to honor and move through our emotions. They are the biggest messages from our soul. And sometimes it's just as simply as quietly sitting and asking the body, maybe placing your hands on your body and taking a breath. What would you have me know? Placing your hands on your heart and asking your soul, what would you have me know? So, of course, it's important to practice all these tools, but I just want to remind you that you really do, you are connected to everything. You are all things. You are not separate from your guides. You are not separate from the angelic realm or what you may term as God or the divine. It moves through you and as you. You are it. You have access to what people call the Akashic records. You don't need somebody to do that. You are like a stream of information. It really, really is there. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't get to ask for support, right? And I get asked this all the time, like, how do I know who's on my team? So I just wanted to break down some of the differences vibrationally and how they come in. So our spirit guides, from what I understand, well, we have a lot of different spirit guides, but meaning we can have a light being as a guide. But what I believe and what I've seen that we have is a energy and a soul that has embodied on the earth plane and done a lot of work here. And so they're grounded and rooted in the lessons and how we learn. And it's general. You may hear like a master guide. You may even have more than one guide that has embodied here in the physical and it's helping you. A lot of times we have had past lives with those people. So although spirit guides can go across, the board and refer to, a different type of light being, generally you're going to have a soul that has embodied that's going to help you, and that makes sense. And then the angels from the angelic realm, from my understanding, they don't generally embody as humans. But they do have really specific roles, and you can always ask for more. So my etheric team has changed. Some of them, and same goes for you, some of them you'll have your entire lifespan, and others may come in and out depending on your path. So like, for instance, when I decided to do this healing work, I've immediately welcomed in a new team, and not like a brand new team, but additional team to help me with this path. So they can shift and change a little bit as you move through. Are kind of, that offer collective and specific assistance. And like everything that exists, they are omnipresent. So it's not like I'm talking to Archangel Michael, you can't talk to him right now, right? Because it's consciousness. All of these beings and us are really just consciousness. We're kind of like these information balls of light that are expanding through experience and through free will and choice. So you can obviously, even when I can talk to people's souls that are here on earth, and also when they've transitioned, clearly. But we have a consciousness that's always moving. So we're able, and specifically the archangels are able to be in a lot of places at once. Ascended masters like Jesus, Buddha, Ganesh, teachers that were known to live here on earth, but continue to work with us. And then light beings, which I've really been in deep with the past few years, etheric assistants that are less earth-based. So we don't always come to earth to learn. It's just one school. And what I've been shown lately is that there are so many different vibrations within earth. And it's hard for our minds to grasp that because we are functioning from this earth vibration. But when they talk about like Lumeria, that's just another vibration of the earth. What I'm also seeing is that our past lives are also functioning on a different vibration. So anyway, we don't always come here. Even here is more dimensional than we know. And so the light beings like the Lumerians and the Pleiadians are just, they're not as earth-based. And with any time that you connect with anyone, you always want to do so with intention and connecting yourself with light and love and protection. And I'm going to give you an example of doing that when we walk through the meditation. So I'm going to walk you through meditation to meet your guide. I'm going to teach you how to ground and offer you a few clearings, but I wanted to just briefly go over, if you are interested in moving further with connecting with your guides and your intuition, I want to talk to you a little bit about the program and the specifics of it and what it looks like. So we've gone over a ton of information. And, you know, if you, again, want to listen to this later, or hopefully you've taken some notes, but we go so much deeper, and I really kind of hold your hand and go from zero to psychic hero and psychic bootcamp, creating a stronger bond with your soul and your guides, really learning how to consult them and your team, and moving out of doubt so that you can manifest easier. One of the biggest thing that I see within this intuitive process, the psychic bootcamp, which has surprised me with a few years, is the personal transformation that happens because we're continually connecting with that bigger part of ourselves. So there's this crazy transformation empowerment that happens. And if you're interested in doing readings on others, and maybe you already are, you'll get really clear on that. And I have people do that in class because this is what really puts you into trust. So we go over so much: mediumship, past lives, body scans, channeling. And I want to just kind of describe the format so that you can get an understanding of how it works. So it is a 10-week program, but you can go at your own pace. So each module is delivered each week. So if you were to sign up today, you can go through all of module 1 and you'll get module 2 a week from today. And I have it delivered this way so that you can really get it in your bones and practice. This isn't about information. This is about moving through it consciously. So each week you get a lesson module, which is about either from 30 minutes to 60 minutes on, you know, could be past lives. And I talk all about it and how they work and how to access them. And then you usually have 1 to 2 meditations to walk you through a process. And so you'll end up having a huge library of processes that you can use to move through whatever you are moving through in life. Depending, you know, people learn differently. So we have PDF worksheets and class notes that you can review. You have homework that you're going through the week. So, you know, if you're working with angels that week, we're really focused on asking for assistance and integrating them in our everyday life. And we move through that weekly. You will have lifetime access to the program. It's yours to keep. You can have it forever. There's recorded calls with Q&A and belief clearings. There's like 10 hours of that in addition to just the actual curriculum, questions that people have asked, and you get that delivered every 2 weeks. And that's a really big, helpful piece of the program as well, because we get to go deeper into the material. The thing that I've just added recently is live monthly group coaching. So I'm going to come in once a month. We do video calls with everybody. I answer questions. It's so fun. I really enjoy doing it. This is really the only way at this time to work one-on-one with me. I'm not doing sessions anymore. I really want to empower people to access this on their own because we can, and we're moving fast with our intuition collectively. We have a Facebook forum with hundreds of other psychic boot campers. You get one-on-one readings, so you're getting read as you move through the class, and just a huge network of community. So I'm going to briefly go over this just so you get a feel of what we cover. So the first one, we go over really deeply into how to maintain boundaries. as an empath or as a leader, which you are, it's so vital for you to learn how to do that. I teach you how to never experience energy drain or any negative energies. I've never experienced anything that I don't want to once I learn these tools. You'll really build on the way that you receive information, how to get confirmation, so how to really get clear yeses and nos. And then the first week we work with you get to meet your spiritual gatekeeper. And this is your protector and kind of like your mic, your thinking of a comedy show and there's like an introducer, like somebody that's always helping you to handle things, and how to set up communication and pathways for your connection process. And then week 2, and these are the images from the cards, aren't they so pretty? So week 2, we go into spirit guides and angels, and you get to meet all of your spirit guides, totems, angels, receive their counsel and help, and how to talk to other people's angels if you do so choose. And we go thoroughly over all of the archangels and what they do and how to call on them for specific assistance. Lesson 3, we go into mediumship. So how to speak to people that have transitioned. And again, it's so different from what I ever thought it was. It's so beautiful and loving. We're going to learn how to discern if it's male, female, aunt, uncle, parent, etc. Ways that they communicate. And again, really getting those boundaries in place, how to get clear yeses and nos. And we begin to set the stage so you can tell who's coming in all the time. And then we go into, before we actually start practicing with others, I go deeply into integration and ethics. So what's really important to know before you read anybody, the do's and the don'ts, how to like gently relay information in the best way. And at this point, you are given the opportunity, after I talked to you thoroughly about how to do it, you can do a practice reading. And remember, everybody's in the same boat. You are not alone. Everybody's learning together. But we also do have people that are still practicing that are doing the class twice and that like have a business and they're just wanting to continue to build their skills. And then we pause for an integration week. So by this time we've covered so much and we need to take a breath. Hello, breathe. That's my name, breathe. So what we do is we do a little catch up. We review the lessons 1 to 4. I have some supportive material on continuing to just move past doubt and some things to keep in mind when you are out there flying solo, meaning when you're practicing on your own without my sweet little meditations. So really important week. We get to kind of gear up before we move on, because then we go into body talk and healing. So we learn how to do intuitive body scans for yourself or for others. And we really begin to understand the root of why physical ailments are in place. You can't just do Reiki on your elbow if there's a reason that that ailment is there. Our body is giving us signs all the time around where we stand from our soul and from our ego, and there's always a reason for an ailment to be there. So we start to learn how to get insight about the emotional healing needed, how to invoke healing of angels and the light beings, and how to really connect with your body on a deeper level. Then we move into soul talk, so how to do soul readings, and also animal communication. So I love this one. I lean on, whenever I do read somebody, I go straight to their soul. So you're going to learn how to connect and communicate with your soul, the souls of others. And also we go into animal communication, how they send messages and receive messages, how they communicate, and then you can practice as you move throughout your life. Then we move into past and future life and clearings. So what's the point of us, understanding why do we want to know about past lives? It's to illuminate this life. It's to, concentrate and focus on our expansion. So how past lives and future lives affect us and how we can really create healing through all directions now. Because we're aware of this knowledge, it's so wild that we get to do soul review now like we would do when we transition. We don't have to transition to do it. We can begin that process now to really bring in the presence of our soul and complete the learning and the expansion that we intended to before we came. We also touch on soulmates and soul families and how to draw them to you, and of course, how to see other people's past lives and do future readings. This is a newer module on channeled writing, and it's really important. I feel like this word channeling is being thrown around a lot, and it's so important when you are channeling to have some rules and some guidance and how to completely get out of the way to receive messages in a really safe way, and how to discern if it's, actually higher information coming through or just you. And so what we do in this module is I teach you how to begin to do channeled writing and ways to connect with specific light beings. So when I channel, I do in body. And I'm also developing a graduate program and a certification program for Psychic Bootcamp. If you're really wanting to get deep into this work and get certified, I will be teaching more about that. And then I'm so happy we added this one. I was getting so many questions from people that finished the course. And so I just created this module, and this is how Psychic Bootcamp works. Like, you guys keep growing, and then I'm like, well, what do you need? And then I add it, and you'll continue to get additions. I guess it's called your grandfathered in. So this is how to move forward with your gifts. So you may just want to take the course because you want to access your intuition, and that's fine. We talk a little bit about that, but this module is a lot around if you do want to integrate this within your current business, or if you're wanting to begin some type of intuitive business, some things to know: how I started, the things I wish I had known, some legalities, some ways to build and brand yourself, and really tap more deeply into your soul's purpose. So I'm so excited that we have this module. So again, just to quickly review the format, it's delivered weekly. You get a video, or you can listen. It's also delivered in audio. We have the slides that you can review for notes. I have actual worksheets. You're getting hands-on practice with other students. You're getting readings. You have a library of recorded meditations. Tons of things to practice IRL in real life. You have like 10 hours of recorded coaching calls where we're going deeper, those things you could like download and listen into on your commute, with belief clearings. And we are meeting monthly, you and me and whoever else is on the call, in the video call. And I want to answer your questions and support you in moving through this. And then the Facebook page, which is so fun. I just love watching people's shares, their questions, supporting each other and their wins. It's really such a beautiful thing. So to briefly go over, we have some funkiness on this slide, but I'm going with it. This just goes over the investment or the value. So we have the weekly lessons, which really are kind of like, $900 to $1,000. The meditations are worth at least like $250. You have a huge library. The clearing work valued at $400. The worksheets were at $250. The coaching with me is, this is valued for the 10 weeks, but you're also getting them, as long as I'm doing the live coaching. So it's valued at, $3,000. You're getting it for a third of the price. We do have payment plans, and we'll send you an email, and you can check those out. But I wanted to share just a couple testimonials because I know it's helpful to get people's real authentic experience. And I think what most people walk away with is a sense of incredible relief that it can be easy and it can be grounded, and it doesn't have to be, so ethereal or out there. And I think the other thing that people really like and appreciate about this class is that it's dense. Like, I really don't like fluff. There's massive support, and yeah, it's just, it's a dense course that you're going to go through. And again, if you do sign up, know that there is no behind. You'll get the modules delivered weekly to you, but it's just to kind of keep you motivated. But there really is no behind. I've been teaching this work for 10 years now, and so I feel pretty grounded in it and rooted in it, and I want to, make it easy and make it accessible, and something that we can have fun with. It doesn't have to be serious and dramatic, right? It's something that we can all do. I am just continually touched by the personal transformations that happen within this course because people are truly connecting with their soul. And then I'm also watching people start their business. We just had a graduate finish, and that week she got asked to do tarot card readings at a local metaphysical store. And there was a line out the door, and she was booked the entire time. I'm seeing people, go deeper into what drew them, like the specific things that drew them in the course. Like, so maybe somebody's just going into mediumship, and you'll really find your rhythm and what works for you. So I'm just it. Yeah, I'm so thankful for these transformations. So I'd love for us to go into this meditation, and I want to walk you through that. So if you need to pause and do this later, if you're not in a place where you can meditate, please come back to it. But if you are, please try to find a comfortable position. And I always like to be seated when I'm meditating because it helps me stay awake. So getting in a comfortable seated position and closing the eyes. Taking a few conscious deep breaths. In and out the nose if you can. Really just grounding into your space. Continuing to breathe into your heart. Sometimes I like to use the Ujjayi breath, which just you can kind of constrict the back of your throat. Take a deep, kind of like ocean-like breath. And as you breathe into your heart space, let's imagine a white light emanating from your heart. And with the breath, imagining this light kind of growing and glowing through your heart. Using the breath to relax you and tap more deeply into this light. And just using your imagination to visualize this light moving through your entire body. Through your spine, your organs, the blood, the bones, your muscles. Nice, soft, easy breaths. Now let's imagine this light expanding beyond your physical body. So as it continues to glow and grow, it's now expanding beyond the physical body. In front of you and back of you, above you, below you. Now breathing into this light space. Maybe feeling this part of you, the you that exists beyond the physical body. Soft breaths into this space. Maybe just, dearest soul, please come forth. Allow me to feel you. Allow me to know you. Nice big breath. I am surrounded in divine light. I am this light. I ask to be reminded and supported of my loving truth. I am ready, willing, and able to connect with divine, loving energy, my guides, my soul, and any information for my best and highest good. Thank you. Big breath. Gentle, dropping you even more. And so now as we feel and sense this light, your eternal light, we're just going to ground by sending that energy down. So imagine sending that energy all the way down into the earth, down into the very core of the earth. And we tend to think of the physical as not as magical, but that's far from true. Infinite divine intelligence is moving through the earth at all times. And so let's imagine pulling up some of that energy from the earth to help us ground and root and connect and awaken. So let's imagine that energy moving all the way through the earth, up through your body, gently moving through you and around you. Maybe imagine sending this energy up and out as far as you can imagine, up through the top of your head. Feeling what it feels like to feel grounded and connected. Now I want you to just imagine a waterfall of light from infinite intelligence, from all that you are, from all that is. We're going to imagine this moving down through your crown chakra, clearing out any blocks. By just being willing, I'm willing to remove any fears or blocks that may be keeping me from accessing my intuition more clearly. And just imagine this waterfall of light moving from the top of your head, maybe clearing out your third eye, the space between your ears, so that you may hear with clarity. Moving down through your heart, releasing any blockages from feeling, down into your belly, releasing any blockages from knowing. And maybe imagine this light moving all the way through your etheric grid, your whole auric field, clearing out any impurities, anything that doesn't belong to you. And so it is, taking a big breath. Just feeling the lightness. And in this moment, just asking for your spirit guide to come forth. We're just setting the intention. I'm ready to receive and connect. And I want you to just imagine in your mind's eye a light from very far away. And that light now is beginning to brighten. and open. And through that light, you can begin to see that there's a form. This is your spirit guide. And they're coming lovingly towards you. And this light begins to open and they become even closer. Now they're right in front of you, and I just want you to trust. So what we can do is just imagine like a dimmer switch. Like we're just turning up the light. We're going to turn up the details. I want you to just trust. Use your imagination if it feels like it. What do they look like? What might they be wearing? Does it feel masculine or feminine? Trust what you see. Kind of just take a breath into your heart space and imagine opening your heart even more. Say, please allow me to feel you. You can ask them to increase their energy if you want. Please allow me to feel you. And what do you want me to know? Remember, you just trust what you hear. It's the very first thing that you sense or feel or hear. What would you have me know? And they have a gift for you. As they hold it in their hands and open their hands to offer you this gift, it's a symbolic gift. What is it? And what does it mean? You can take the gift and thank them for it. Is there somewhere in your energy field that you can hold this symbolic gift? And maybe you'll receive more information about it later. Is there anything that you want to offer them? Is there something that you need help with? In this moment, you can just gently ask. And trust that the answer is always on the way. Taking a nice breath and thanking them for coming. Knowing that you can come back to this and receive more information. Knowing that you have created a bond that cannot be broken, that can only be nurtured. Knowing that they are always with you. It's just a matter of you tapping in. Taking a nice big breath into your heart space again. And just in gratitude. Gratitude for your ability to be here. For the people along your life path who have supported you. for the souls that will continue to come in to do so, for the ways that you will illuminate the world, for the incredible examples of love in your life, and for the courageous jumps that you've already made. And maybe especially for the ways that we're supported, but we don't always recognize. Maybe just I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to pay attention. I'm ready to show up from my soul and my truth. Nice big breath into your heart. I'm just going to offer a couple clearings as you sit in this space. One moment. So I'm connecting with my team and I'm listening to what everyone needs. And what I'm listening to right now is just the need to clear out the fear of the unknown and the remembrance that we're creating our reality at all times. So we're asking for a higher understanding of trust. And they're also offering a etheric cord clearing. So what this is going to do is just help to open you up energetically even more. Your etheric cord, it always exists, but they're just clearing it of what I would call like impurities or yeah. So we're gonna open that up, and I also want to do a DNA activation. A lot of you are already activated, but this will help as a cleanup as well for you to activate essentially. And so if that's all okay, just an internal yes, I'm ready for this healing. One moment. We're also going to clear just some old perceptions of the self where I'm seeing that what we tend to hold that is within the stomach area. And what they want to help to clear out is just old sorrow of either letting go of old perceptions of the self or it's kind of like the illusion that in truth, everything is happening at once and we are all connected. So we're releasing the fear and the sorrow around not being connected to others, or that our safety comes from others. So let's ask that we just like release that. And we're willing and able to open ourselves up to who we really are and why we are really here. If that's okay, just an internal or verbal yes, please. They're still working on that energetic. If you're energetically sensitive, you may feel it a little bit, but they're still working on that DNA activation. Just be a moment, please. And just being willing to understand a higher vibration of love consciousness. So this is like, what they're showing me is that we would be able to live in like pure bliss all the time. Like it sounds crazy that it is possible, but what they're wanting to do right now is just create a little bit of a vibrational energetic shift so that you can experience more of that. If that's okay, just an internal or verbal yes, please. Okay, so nice big breath into your heart. For some of you, that activation is just going to be continued to work on. And this, and so, but let's ground ourselves and let's just imagine that energy again, just moving down into the earth, rerooting, pulling the earth's energy back up through your body, your beautiful body, your vessel for expansion and expression. Maybe taking your hands to your heart and taking a deep breath. opening your eyes when you're ready. And just coming softly back into the body, maybe moving around a little bit. I want to just thank you again for signing up for this, and again for the work that I know that you've already done. Thank you for taking the time to connect with your soul. Um, I'll definitely follow up with an email. But if you're wanting to join Psychic Bootcamp and continue this journey, I hope that you will. But I also want to just remind you with that meditation, you know, be open to messages continuing to come in. Remember that when we first start, sometimes it will feel like we're making it up, but I can't tell you how many times I have people get incredible validation later that maybe it was their guide's name, or they'll see their gift. So what you've just done is, again, created an opening between you and your guide. So just have fun with it. Relax, keep asking for signs, keep surrendering. And I'm also would love to hear if you have any fun messages around them coming through. If you're wanting to jot down any information, you might want to do that as well. But if you're ready to dive more deeply into this world, again, I'd be honored to guide you, because what we just felt in that meditation, it's not about just being psychic. It's about accessing this part of you. It's about creating from this part of you in freedom, in your natural state, which is ease and true enlightenment, just remembering that you are the light. It's about living from your soul and really creating that deep relationship with the bigger part of you and accessing the infinite wisdom that's within you. It really is about knowing your path and the best steps to take and feeling guided as you move through this life. So thank you for showing up. And but as I said, I'd be honored to have you. I've packed this course with the best tools that I know over the years. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've put everything into this course. There's a beautiful community of like-hearted souls here to support you as well. So thank you for your time, your heart, and being so aware to be on this call to answer the calling of your intuition already. And for all that you're already offering here. So thank you, and I hope to see you in class.